a large shrub rose from David Austin up for you next. A rose that I'm incredibly familiar with, and I used to sell when I was managing garden centres a long time ago. This absolutely stunning bold flower is Golden Celebration. Bred and introduced by David Austin Roses way back in 1992. This is a large, bold shrub with these enormously large, informal, ruffled blooms that look very much like a peony. As say, introduced in 1992, this is going to create a really large and very striking shrub, reaching somewhere in the region of 4 by 4 feet. It's a kind of plant that you want to stand alone as a statement piece, or you can plant en masse to create a really large show. The foliage is pale and mint green in its colour. I'll show you one of the leaves here. Very large, one of the largest leaves in all of the David Austin collections. I'll show that against my hand there. Really quite large, and you can tell that's off of a particularly large shrub. I say reaching 4 feet by 4 feet. It's light mid-green and pea colour in its coloration. Very matte, and sets off these beautiful large dusty gold blooms perfectly. The buds are tinged orange and flame red just before they open, and then you are rewarded with these enormous flowers. They do tend to hang ever so slightly due to the weight. I'll get this stem out so you can see them. You can see they are quite pendulous and do tend to nod just ever so slightly, but the stems are strong and woody and coming up to around 3.5 up to 4 feet. And if you're familiar with the growth habit of Thomas A. Becket, again from David Austin Roses, you'll be used to this sort of woody structure with these flower heads nodding off the top. Very heavy indeed. It's a free flowering shrub that's going to flower all the way through the year. Starting normally in early June, it's going to flower repeatedly all the way through until the back end of August and into September, giving you a really good show. However, much like some of the shrubs from this era and the ones that produce flowers of this size, you are going to be troubled with a small amount of poor disease resistance. And you can see here from the leaf I picked a second ago, the startings of black spot coming onto this particular rose. So you do need to make sure that you mulch it deeply and you're paying special attention to the watering, because producing blooms this size on a shrub that's only 4 feet by 4 feet is utterly exhausting for the plant. These blooms reaching somewhere in the region of 3.5 to 4 to 4.5 inches across. They really are quite large. Very loosely formed. They open this beautiful dusty gold colour, and you're then rewarded as the flower ages. I have another one here, tinged with this wonderful peachy pink colour as they start to fade. You can see here just on the outer edges of this one, still tinged with that lovely pinky tinge all the way around the outside, and those apricot notes running all the way through this particular bloom. I say really nicely open cupped. This is the kind of flower that the petal count is high enough to give it this lovely opulent look, but you can still get a pollinating insect into the center. Something large like a bumblebee can still get itself into the center there, where it can enjoy the lovely cluster of golden stamens right in the center. Okay, I say the fragrance on this one is also particularly good. It is of medium strength. I'm going to be ranking it somewhere in the region of a 5 to 6 out of 10 stars. It's sherbety and lemony. It's fruity and has notes of grape and dessert wine. It really is very pleasant. So this is Golden Celebration from David Austin Roses. Been here in the UK for many years, and I know this one is very popular throughout other parts of the world. So whether you're planting it for a Golden Celebration, or whether you just want to plant it because it has these amazing, beautiful, opulent blooms, Golden Celebration is a real winner if you want a highly fragranced, big, blousy, high-performing rose with this lovely, say, golden dusty colour, introduced by David Austin Roses in 1992. It's a beautiful combination, and if you can put up with this, to say, woody stems with the nodding heads on the actual top, once it gets up to a decent size, it actually can support itself. Unlike some of the Austins with these larger blooms, it can actually, the stems can actually support themselves, but you do need to get used to that growth habit. Say, long, tall, woody stems with these nodding blooms on the top. This is Golden Celebration with a fragrance rating somewhere in between 5 and 6 stars. It really is rather pleasant, and if you love this big informal style, this is a rose that you should probably consider.